Hey guys, welcome back. Now, is Bitcoin and the crypto market going to go on an absolute tear, taking the price of Bitcoin to over $1 million per coin? Well, that is what is predicted by Cathie and the team at ARK Invest. Once a year, ARK put out their Big Ideas report containing everything going on and also what they predict from the coming mega industries like AI, robotics, and blockchain. And so this video is going to be my biggest takeaways from everything going on right now with crypto. And this year there were three big categories. Number one, the craziness going on with stablecoins right now, and they are blowing away Visa and MasterCard. Number two is the big battle going on for best smart contract layer 1, and we'll also cover which layer 1 ARK Invest likes in particular. And number three, we'll finish with the king and how Bitcoin gets to over $1 million per coin. So lots of interesting things and analysis to cover, so strap in and let's start with the craziness going on with stablecoins right now. Okay, so as promised, let's take a look at the crazy stuff going on with stablecoins right now. And we have to say that stablecoins is probably the biggest and best use case for crypto so far, in that it's a much better way to transact and send money using blockchain for everyday purchases. And for me, buying and selling for everyday stuff is way better done on stablecoins than it is on Bitcoin. I still believe that Bitcoin is digital gold and it's where you store your money. It's not necessarily what you use for buying and selling. Leave that to stablecoins. So what do we see? Well, this is compared against Visa, MasterCard, American Express. And the dominant player, just going back to 2019, was Visa. You can see pretty much dominating everything else. Next was MasterCard behind it. American Express is quite small in comparison. And then when it comes to stablecoins, only 2019, it's barely on the map, 2020. And then just in the last few years, it's now the dominant player, crushing Visa and MasterCard. And the stablecoin bill around the world, but especially the US, is coming at any time. So this is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. In a couple of years from now, it may even take these players out of the race. And this basically just shows that the stablecoin transaction count is growing with the digital asset marketplace, both pretty correlated. And as you can see, this is more of a breakdown by the actual chain being used. So what do we see? Well, the biggest player is actually Solana, and that's great to see for myself, as Solana is now my largest holding. But it's pretty much being done by Solana, Tron, Ethereum, and Base. And obviously Base being Ethereum as well, so you could say that it's mainly been done by Ethereum. But then when it comes to the other ones, these guys don't really move the needle at all. So it's largely been done Solana, Tron, Ethereum, and Base. Now, something else that ARK Invest like to do is that they're breaking things down by per employee. So we've got lots of different companies here, but I still think stablecoin should be compared to more Visa and MasterCard and not so much just general banks. Or even, I'm not sure why Berkshire Hathaway is on here. So yes, they dominate when it comes to net income, Warren Buffett being as good as he is. But if we just look at this category here, Tether, Visa, and MasterCard, you can see that the net income is now above Visa and clearly above MasterCard. But what ARK is showing here is that when you look at their income per employee, they need way less people to get a better result. So these are the incredible things going on with stablecoins right now, and I can only see stablecoins exploding higher, leaving everybody else in the dirt. Next category, we move over to smart contracts. And for me, this was one of the most useful slides in the entire piece. Because when people say, yeah, but what is crypto actually being used for? Then show them this. As right now, many people might just say that crypto is only being used for meme coins. And yes, that is one use case, not a particular favorite of mine, but look at everything else. So we've got gaming and ticketing and smart devices and trading apps, decision markets, SocialFi, music, messaging, prediction markets, metaverse. Now, I won't read out all of these, but this just goes to show that there are dozens and dozens of use cases for crypto that are all going to be coming through. So it's not just pie in the sky. Let's hope crypto goes higher. There is going to be a very good reason behind it. Now, ARK Invest also are a fan of Ethereum, and they just showed that this last EIP, which hits here, which basically made all the L2s super cheap to be able to compete with the best L1s. So average transaction going from about $0.50 down to just 5 cents, hoping that this is going to spur the use of the L2s. Another shout out from ARK Invest is going to Base. This is the L2 launched by Coinbase, and it's good for me to see as Coinbase is my second largest holding, and they're saying out of all the layer 2s, Base is the fastest growing. So within 1 year of launch, Base has outpaced all the other Ethereum layer 2s in growth and market share. Here they're showing the daily active users, and Base has taken a nice chunk. And then when it comes to fees, they're also dominating the fees as well. So great to see from Coinbase and Base. Now, this just shows that when it comes to sending very large transactions, the institutions are still using Ethereum and not an L2. And this is something that I've banged on about for quite some time, is that the massive mega corporations and institutions, they don't care that they might be paying $30 for a transaction. It's only retail investors that complain that transactions are not just a penny. So if you're sending $1 million or $10 million or $100 million somewhere, and you have to pay a $30 fee, you really don't care. And this just backs that up, and why I think Ethereum is still going to do really well, because they've chosen decentralization over speed and cost. So institutions have a very robust, never crashed, decentralized platform, which for them, even at paying $30 or $50, it's such a small amount of money. And this is what this is basically showing. And ARK are also pointing out the difference between decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. And again, they like the volume per employee. And this basically just shows that the amount of volume going through these decentralized exchanges, when looking at how much it is per employee, they are way more efficient than their centralized counterparts. So this may be one reason why decentralized exchanges may boom in the future. Time will tell. As of the one blockchain which got the biggest highlight when it comes to smart contracts, for ARK Invest, it was Solana. And again, this is good for me as Solana is now my largest position. And here they were saying applications seeking lower fees and greater efficiency deploy either on Solana or one of Ethereum's layer 2s. And that's essentially what this is showing here. Now, this was interesting to see because obviously there are other layer 1s being used. So for ARK to say that apps are choosing either Solana or a layer 2 was interesting. If this is true to the largest degree, then this is great for Solana and also Base, and also by default, me. They highlight that Solana's throughput is way higher than Ethereum's, thanks to the trade-offs. So they didn't go for decentralization, they went for speed. And Solana is one of the fastest blockchains, and with their next big upgrade, they may be trying to get to this big 1 million TPS target, and the upgrade being Fire Dancer. So that one is going to be a huge milestone this year for Solana. If they can do it, Solana is literally going to the moon. If it fails, then there could be one hell of a correction coming to Solana. With massive upside potential comes massive downside risk, unfortunately. And when it comes to the daily active users, Solana is crushing it, taking market share, and even with the fees generated, even though Solana is super cheap, it's still getting a larger amount of the fees. So very interesting that of all the L1s, it is Solana that ARK Invest has highlighted. And last slide on this, they're just saying that when it comes to new crypto developers, Solana is attracting the most developers right now. And when it comes to the Ethereum ecosystem, it is base of all the layer 2s that is getting the most developers. And finally, a little bit about the king Bitcoin, and it was the spot Bitcoin ETF that really changed the game last year, as being the most successful ETF launch in history is definitely going to be a good thing and put Bitcoin on the map and radar of millions of people across the world. And look at the difference between the Bitcoin ETF's accumulation for when gold launched. This is the number of months to get to. They're both pushing for this 90 billion. The Bitcoin success story is undeniable at this point, and any success to Bitcoin is going to be a big success for the rest of the crypto market. Now, when it comes to its compound annual growth rate, Bitcoin is crushing everything else. Gold and equities are at about 10%. You've got emerging markets in the last 5 years being 2% growth. Real estate only 1.5, bonds have been negative, and it's Bitcoin that is crushing everything else. Now, the volatility is coming down, which is why Bitcoin is becoming a good store of value. As time goes on, the volatility is going to keep coming down until Bitcoin becomes really boring like gold, and it will find its fair value, probably in the multi-million dollar per coin. At that point, Bitcoin's going to become quite stable like gold, so the opportunity is right now, as this is going to keep coming down more in line to everything else. But as of right now, Bitcoin or crypto assets have to be part of your portfolio. This just highlights that one of the massive use cases is coming from public companies putting Bitcoin on the corporate balance sheet as a reserve asset. Obviously, MicroStrategy being number one, but there are now dozens and dozens and dozens of companies, corporations, now nation states. And this is the final slide, and they are saying that Bitcoin is still on pace to meet their 2030 price targets of over $1 million, 1.5 being their bull case. And as you can see, the vast majority of that is really just coming from two places, this being institutional investment and this being digital gold, so taking away the market cap of gold. Then it'll be emerging markets, nation states, corporate treasury is actually a very small segment. I would have thought these two would have been a lot larger, and then Bitcoin's on-chain financial services. So they're saying that it's still on track, 5 years to over $1 million. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but this is amazing for Bitcoin, and it's the whole entire market is going to benefit as well. Cathie Wood and the team at ARK Invest are back with their big ideas 2025, and the big takeaways were: stablecoins are clearly one of the biggest and best use cases for crypto right now, and they are crushing Visa and MasterCard, and they're only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. When it comes to the smart contract L1 platforms, this was one of my favorite slides, as it clearly shows dozens and dozens of excellent use cases for crypto. And no, crypto isn't just about meme coins. Interestingly, one of ARK's favorite L1s is Solana, giving special mention to Solana, but also Coinbase's Base. And they still believe Bitcoin is on a non-stop rampage to over $1 million per coin by 2030. And it's mainly coming from institutional investment and taking market share from gold. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, those were my biggest takeaways. Feel free to let me know yours below. However, just remember, and for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.